Hey everybody, welcome back to Creating Scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator and our Timken Hangar live build. Alright, so last time we worked on the truss supports, support columns, and I'm pretty much made the decision, instead of using the I-beam version, which is more of a modern construction, I went with the inset concrete columns in the walls. All right, now we haven't taken care, so I finished them, is basically because I did just a few in the last video, and so I went ahead and finished. Let me swing around to the other wall and show you that I did the same thing here. Now, if you remember, in this area I had an opening that because of the extrusion that I did with this annex for the, I think it's probably like a pump house or something like that, for probably for the fuel or something like that. Maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, there's a little bump out on the hangar. So I went ahead and added a couple faces to that wall. And we'll cut in a person door in one of these panels here for a doorway getting into there. The other thing is that I should have recorded this, but I didn't. But if you notice that I have, so there's this polygon. Before I did all these loop cuts for the columns, this was one polygon, this was one polygon, and this was one polygon. This was open. But I had to reconstruct it because it wouldn't do loop cuts, because there was an extra vertice where these came together. So I selected all these polygons, these three, 1, 2, 3, deleted them, deleted the faces and edges and kept the vertices, and then I reconstructed that wall. So this polygon didn't include this vertice, and this big polygon didn't include this vertice. So there's three separate faces, this one, and this one. And then I did the loop cuts. And then I did, that loop cut that goes across the top, that's even with the bottom of the trusses. Now, I'm not getting any texturing because I basically recreated those polygons, so they have not been mapped for a concrete block material. Now what I'm doing is they're facing away from me. All right, so if I did the face orientation, this polygon right here, if I turned off shade and go in there you go. These polygons are red, so they're facing out, and it's an interior wall. That's why they, in Shade Viewer, they look transparent, okay, because it's a PBR texture, and PBR textures they face the direction of the normals, and in this case the normal for these faces are facing out. And so basically I'm selecting those and doing an Alt-N and flipping those. Okay, so that's what I just did there. So now those show up. All right, now I would have to, if we select this wall and I go to materials, see, it does have the concrete block textures assigned to them, but since I had to recreate the polygons, the UV unwrapping is basically messed up. So to take care of that, you basically make sure that you have your, get out of edit mode, make sure that that's set, and then you can go into your UV editing and re-unwrap. Okay, but before I do that, there's something that I want to do, and I don't want to spend too much time. I want to go on to a new topic. All right, so if you notice on this wall, the UV is correct, all right, except for the sides of these concrete bump outs. Plus, these concrete bump outs are showing the block, all right, and that's not the case. These would be solid pour concrete columns, all right. So the next step after this, I won't bore you with doing it, okay, but I'll select all these columns, all these faces that make the columns, and I'll hit P and I'll make those a new selection and call them columns. And then when I come back in texture, final up my texturing and stuff, I'll give them a concrete texture and not a block. All right, just so you know, we'll do that in the future, or I'll do it off screen and show you what it looks like later. All right, now, like I said, did I say something? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I had a senior moment there. My age, I forget what I'm doing. All right, anyway, we don't have any interior prototypes to go off of. So if you work here, send me pictures. But anyway, we don't have any interior photos of this particular hangar, so we have to just pretty much make some guesses. But since there is office space on the outside, you know that they're probably going to have some doors on the inside. All right, so I am going to separate these because I'm going to do a series of loop cuts, and I don't want them to have to go through the concrete column. So let's do this. In edit mode, I'm going to select all of these interior bay, so to speak, faces. All right, and I'm going to copy those to a new selection. All right. All right, so we got those selected, and we need to select these as well, because we'll do so only want in between the columns. Now all of these can go. Okay. All right, I know I'm boring you guys, but you know, I just want to show you how I think when I'm working. Sometimes I don't think. And I know you guys will be watching me, and you guys will say, no, I think it'd be better if I did it this way. Hey, by all means, you know, I'm not saying I'm the expert, okay? I just do what works for me, and I can school off you guys too. So just leave comments and say, hey, this method would work better for that. I'm good for that, you know. We're all in this together. We're all having fun together. All right, so anyway, I got those interior walls selected without the columns, and then I'm going to hit P, make that a new selection, come over in my table of contents, hit the period on my number pad, and all right, so interior walls, we're going to call those columns now. Interior columns, all right? And then the interior walls, we're going to get rid of the 001. Okay, so there we go. So in between each column is interior walls, and then the columns are the columns. All right, so now we can texture those the way that we want to, but that's not what I wanted to do right this second. We're going to put some people doors in this wall so you can get from the hangar to the office space. I have no idea where they really are, but based on the outside wall, these two are okay. So there's bathrooms here. We have an entrance to the office here and an entrance to the office here. So most likely, there's probably a door somewhere here and probably a door here so you can get to the office space. Okay. So it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to use this one. So the fifth bay this way and the third bay this way. All right, so we're going to come inside. Had a sneeze, sorry. All right, so let's get out of edit mode. Try again. Get out of edit mode. Select the interior walls. Go back into edit mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to work on this one. So we are going to make a loop cut. Control R and click. Drag that all the way down at the bottom. And then we're going to GZ7. You know why it does that? Why it pulled that bottom up and pretty much screwed up my wall? Because I forgot to do something. So let's do a Control Z. Oh, wait a minute. Let's escape. Control Z. So we undo our loop cut. Notice that I have my I had the merge tool on. So I'm going to turn that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and then redo my loop cut. Control R, click, drag that down until it's at the bottom of the wall. GZ7, because standard door in the United States is 7 feet tall. And notice that, see what happens when you do loop cuts and drag your loop cut or set your loop cut. It throws off the UV unwrap. Okay, we're going to fix all of that because remember, on the other wall, on the other side of the building, it needs to be redone anyway. Okay, so just remember, when you do loop cuts and then you move the loop cut, it's going to stretch the UV. All right, so you'll have to redo it. So that's why it's good to get all of your construction done before you apply your materials. But sometimes we just can't help it. All right, so I got my 7-foot wall, my 7-foot tall door there. Now I just need to figure out where I want to put it. And I think I'm just going to put it right in the middle. All right, so I'm going to do another loop cut. Control R, and it's going to go vertical this time. And then I'm going to, I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, hit escape. So one part of the door is right in the middle. And then let's say it's offset a little bit. So I'm going to do another loop cut. Vertical, click, drag till I'm right on that original line, that original loop cut, and then I'm going to move it in the, I'm going to move it to the right, which I can't remember if it is, let's see, GY3, yeah. Okay, it was positive. All right, and a standard size door, well, actually, it's not a standard size door, but doors in the United States are 28 inches. You guys can convert to meters if you want, but 28 inches, 30 inches, 32 inches, 34 inches, 36 inches, 38 inches. They're by twos, all right? That's standard. And modern doors, commercial buildings, the minimum is 36 inches because of the ADA, which is American Disabilities Act. All doors have to be at least 36 inches wide. So anyway, that's pretty much a standard door, 3 feet by 7 feet. All right, so we have the person door. So let's go to polygon select. Select that polygon. No, we don't want to select that polygon yet. We'll come back to it. All right, let's come down here, and we said the third one on this one. So we're going to make our 7-foot loop cut. Whoops, Control R. Well, let me escape here. All right, Control R, make our loop cut, drag that down to the bottom, GZ7. And then we're going to make that loop cut in the middle, hit enter, escape so we don't move it. And then we're going to do another loop cut, click, drag that over to there, and go GY3 so we now have another 3-foot door. All right, and then I'm going to go to polygon select, and now I'm going to select both of the people doors, and I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to P. Sorry, I'm going to press P on the keyboard. There you go. Sorry about that. All right, select, make a new selection, and come down to the orange one, and we're going to call that interior P door. Okay, for person door. All right, we'll play with the textures later. I'm still doing some construction here. And we will need to, since remember this wall is 8 inches thick, 0.6 feet thick. All right, we will need to inset that one way or the other. So we can see that it's inset from the wall. Now, most likely, it is probably, I'm thinking, you can inset it on the outside of the wall, or you can inset it on the inside of the wall. I think for like most commercial buildings, because of fire code and all that kind of stuff, it's flush on the interior and it's inset on the exterior. All right. But we'll come back to that later. Now let's go over to the other side, and let's come over to this polygon, select it, hit P to focus in on it. Okay. And I'm going to make the door jamb even with this column. So I'm going to Control R, and I'm going to put a slice right here. So we're going to move this in the -3 feet. Okay. And then I'm going to do another 7-foot loop cut down GZ7. Okay. And select this polygon right here. Hit P on the keyboards, new selection, and it's this one right here. So I'm going to get out of edit mode. I'm going to select this one. I am going to hold down the control, select the Quonset interior door, and I'm going to Control J. So now this door belongs to the same object as these two doors on the other side. All right. And I believe that's the only door on that wall. All right. And we'll come back and inset it later. Now, a couple other things. One other thing before we get into our new lesson today. Now, there could be some windows. Sometimes they have some windows there that looks from the management office out in there. We will make that determination later. So we could cut some windows in, but we'll do that later. At least I'm thinking whether I want to do that yet. Okay. Now, this wall where these doors are, I'm going to go into edit mode here for a second. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to select this polygon just so I can focus in on this area first. All right. When we made our people doors on the end of our hangar, I gave it a thickness of I think it was 0.16, something like an inch and a half or so. Could have been 0.125. I can't remember. I can measure it and find out, but it's not important. But the wall itself at the end of the hangar has no thickness. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select all. I don't have to select all, but I'm going to. I want to do, I want to see which way those are orientated. Yeah, they're orientated the correct way. Actually, they would, because I applied the texture there. I need to give this wall some thickness, but it's not going to be as thick as the concrete. All right. Our door, I'm going to make this about 4 inches thick, or 3 inches thick. So that's 1/4 of a foot. So I'm going to apply, I think those are the only two that get selected when I do that. Yeah. So I'm going to just get out of edit mode, and I'm just going to come over with these walls selected because everything's selected over here. I am just going to add a modifier to it. And I'm going to add a Solidify Modifier. And we're going to make that 0.25. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply that. All right. So it gives that end wall a little bit of thickness. Okay. And it should apply. It applies the material to the other side as well, which is good for now. All right. Now, the next step is, like I said, I haven't done the purlins. I'll do that later, but we do need purlins on the bottom, okay, on the bottom of each truss, and they wouldn't be called purlins are up on the roof side. On the bottom side, they're basically called ceiling joists, even though there's not a ceiling. So we might want to put those on here as well. Okay? So I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so let's set up. Let's go into back view, which is tilde-A, which should be a straight on. I got it. Yeah. tilde-A, straight on. And let's turn off our end wall. Where's my end wall? It's called roof end. I'm going to turn that off so we can see our truss. All right. Now we are going to select our trusses, and we are going to, with our trusses selected, we're going to, no, I'm going to Shift S to move our cursor to selected. How did I didn't think oh, wait a minute, I did. Okay, let's go into edit mode, go into vertice, ghost, select our vertice, which was actually selected, and then I'm going to Shift S, cursor to selected, so my 3D cursor is at the end of our wall, okay? I mean, end of our truss, that corner, and then tilde A. And I'm just gonna kind of zoom in a little bit. All right, now I want to get out of edit mode. So there's my 3D cursor. And I want to start adding some of these joists, okay? And I'm going to shift A, and I am going to add a single vertice. So I got a vertice right at the end of that truss. Now, the joists are probably just a piece of steel, just a flat piece of steel that is probably 1.5 inches thick by 3 inches wide. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm in edit mode, so I'm going to extrude that vertice in the X direction, and we're going to go 0.25. Whoa, that's not right. Let's whoops. Like I said, I'm doing this as I'm really doing it. All right, so I want to extrude. I think I only made that wall 4 inches thick. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. X 0.25, and then we want to extrude that Z 0.125. And I must be just screwing up here. All right, so let's select this one. Extrude Z. We'll make it 1 inch thick, 0.08. I'm going positive, that's why. All right, Control Z. Extrude Z minus 0.083. And then we're going to extrude X negative 0.125. And then we're going to select these two and F to join those together with an edge. Okay, now we're going to select these and we are going to move those in the X direction. 0.5. Okay. Now we are going to apply an array to that object. So let's go array, apply, array, and make that an actual offset distance in the X direction. I think it's put, where is it? Oh. Okay, let me cancel that. Let me escape. I want to cancel that. I need to get out of edit mode, go to object, apply scale, go back into it. Now I want my array. And relative, no, constant. There it is, right there. Okay, so that's 10 feet apart. Okay. And I want to add one. It keeps hitting off my arrow. Oh, door 14. Where's it putting it? Is it putting it inside my wall? I think it is. Alright, maybe I don't want to do that way. Because I want that right in the middle. Alright, so I'm going to cancel this array. And I am going to take this object, alright, and make sure I have my edge select on. And I'm going to activate, oops, I'm going to activate edges, select this end edge, there we go. Alright, and I'm going to move that to the center so it's even here. So I'm going to move X to right there, right where it's underneath this part. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to get out of edit mode, and I'm going to I'm going to right click, set origins to geometry, right there. Okay, now we're in the middle. Okay, now I am going to, can't remember what the distance between those is. So if I do a modifier array, okay, and then relative change to constant offset and make that 10. It's not 10. 8. Nope. 7.5. I could measure. Alright, let me pause and get a measurement. Okay, so I did a measurement from this edge to this edge, which is the same as going from middle to middle. And I get, oh, actually, I could do it even better. So hover on that, delete that dimension there. Okay, and I can go from this edge, hold my mouse and snap to there. It's 729,225. So I'm going to write this down, 729,225. All right, so that's the distance of my array. So I'm going to get rid of that distance there. Okay, come back up here and get out of edit mode because I had my trusses selected. I'm going to select that, come back over to our array and make that 7 point, what did I say it was? 7.29225. Hit enter there. That moves that centered there. I know it's a weird measurement, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. All right, so let's increase our count. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. Whoops, missed my arrow. There, there, there. I did that again, didn't I? So is that inside the wall? I think it is. So I'm going to remove one. So I have those. Now, here's the thing. That array is not working out perfect for the distance between those because these lines were based on the radius of that curve. All right, but I want to get those underneath these vertical supports. All right, so what I'm going to do is something a little weird. I'm going to make these individual, and then I'll join them back together. All right, so I'm going to apply that modifier. Okay, so now these are, they're not, it's not modifier, they're actually 3D. Okay, now I need to do some things the hard way. I know that that one's correct. I don't know if that one's correct. So go into edit mode, select those, and I want to make sure I'm edge select that active edge, and I want to move it in the X so it's right underneath that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to select this, shift click so I make that active, and move that X so those are right underneath there, just like that. So I just have to make some adjustments. So I'm shift making that edge active and remove that in the X so it's right underneath that one right there. Okay, same here, shift select twice to make that active, move X so it's right underneath this one. There we go. That's underneath that. I think. Let me turn the lines on. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's probably an easier way to do it with that. So select these, shift, select, move X right underneath that. Shift, select, move X right underneath that. And okay, so since I've already applied my array, I could just select these, Control D to duplicate it, escape so I don't move it, and then now I just want to GX and move that over like this. And where did that go? No, it's there. There they are. There it is, right there. Okay, it was just hidden by another feature is what it was. Tilde A. Okay. I know this is weird, but whoops, I didn't want to do that. Tilde A. Pan over. Now, I can do another mirror if I wanted to, but I don't have to. I can just select all of these, right? And I'll have two here if I do that. if I Shift D, escape, move X, I get a double there. I don't want a double. I'm going to shift that. Then I'm going to select this one, delete it, and select this one and delete it. Okay. So I have the ceiling joists laid out. Okay. Now I'm going to turn off line mode and ghost. Go back into here. And I want to go to faces. Oh, I don't have faces yet. Because, I just screwed that up. So I want to go back to here. And F. Select those, F. Select those, F. I should have done this before I did all my arrays and copying. Anyway, you see how I screw up, right? So I'm just selecting these edges, hitting F, turning those into polygons or faces. I don't need that one, so I'm going to delete that. Alright, so now I can go into face select, I think. And let's zoom in and see if yeah, those faces got made. Alright, so I'm going to select all the faces by hitting A. And I am going to extrude all those until they reach this end. So extrude to here. Okay. So now I have my ceiling joists, plus they tie all of the trusses together. Okay. So what do I do next? Get out of edit mode. There we go. And let's get out of ghost and see what that looks like. So yeah, something like that. Now, I think that'll work fine. Now, making the purlins is pretty much almost the same. And what I think I'll do with the purlins is I will make a copy of these joists and I'll move those up until they snap up to here. Alright, but I'll do that later. Alright, so we made our ceiling joists. Now, why did I make the ceiling joist? Because I need something to hang my light fixtures on. Alright, and that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so there's some goofiness things that I could take care of. Now, notice that when I copied all of these ceiling joists over to this side, they're offset. It's fine to here. But from here to here, they're not underneath these verticals. All right. Whoops. Ceiling joist. There we go. Go into edit mode. Turn on ghost. Okay. Now I'm going to go tilde A And I'm going to GX, move these underneath. GX. Select those. GX. GX. You guys get as perfect as you want, okay? Where's my center? Okay. So just make some adjustments here and there. Make things look better. Yeah, I could have thought this out a little better. I think a mirror would have been better than just copy those like I did. If you did a mirror, then they would have been the same on both sides. But for what we're doing, I think we're fine. Okay, so that lines up good. All right, so that's a lot better than it was before. All right, so I got those ceiling joists underneath all the vertical members. All right, now we're going to make some lights. Okay, and we are going to do that on the next video. This one's long enough. So we're going to make some fluorescent lights on the roof, on the ceiling in the next video. So thanks for watching. I know that's kind of frustrating to watch me work live, but you guys can hone your skills by watching my mistakes and my thought process. All right, so thanks for watching, for putting up with me. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell. I will see you on the next one where we make light fixtures. See you guys later.